I was just talking with Warriors forward Richard Jefferson, and he was talking about how this is his 12th media day, and he can't believe it's been 12. I'm not going to ask you how many media days you've been to, but the start of the season is always an optimistic and exciting time.
Well, it really is. You know, it's really kind of a great time for sports if you really want to talk about sports in general and not talk about the Warriors right at this point in time. You got the end of baseball season, started football season. Normally you'd have hockey going on at the same time, and now basketball. But it's always an exciting time. No one's has lost a game yet. Everyone their hopes are filled with all the best for their team going forward. But I think this is really the important time for coaches and players to get on the same page, trying to mold a team into something that will really be special. I think all of us associated with the Warriors feel very good about a very improved roster. We got some size now. We got some veterans to go with some really good young players, and we feel we had an outstanding draft last year. So we're hopeful that this is going to be a start of something real special this year for us, but that will be determined when we get an opportunity to start playing against other good teams.
You know, I was mentioning to some of the fans after the draft that I thought was so important to get a guy like Andrew Bogut, and now adding Carl Landry for backup David Lee is there, Festus Ezeli in the draft. Just simply from the fact that inside the division, 16 games, 4 against Sacramento with DeMarcus Cousins, 4 against Phoenix with Gortat, 4 against the Clippers in that front line, 4 against the Lakers. Now they've got Dwight Howard and Gasol. It was important just to get bigger to face those guys.
Well, not only do you get bigger, but I think when our fans have an opportunity to interact with some of these players, they can see these are not your typical athletes. These are really classy kids who have a great work ethic. They want to be part of something special here. And we've added some really good veteran players, and you forgot Jared Jack in the process. So, you know, we've gotten bigger, we've gotten tougher, a lot tougher. We're going to be a much better rebounding team. The only thing we need is health from our key players. Now that hasn't been the fate of this franchise for a number of years. We have a lot of injuries up here, and but we do have so much more talent, and I think we're optimistic in the sense we're going to be a lot better. We're not going to get killed in the areas on the boards we did before. We're going to be one of the better shot blocking teams for sure. And we have great young players around these veteran players, but more importantly, we got 3 really outstanding rookies coming along too.
One of the things I really like about this roster right now, as you look at it, is that you have people who can pass the ball, but they're also willing passers. And I think that's going to make a big difference. You can get a lot of easy baskets if you have people who are willing to pass.
Well, I think, again, when you look at this team, Andrew Bogut, you know, he led the league in shot blocks one year, but more importantly, he's probably the best passer of all the centers we have in basketball. He will make and create easier shots for other people, but Jared Jack is a veteran player. Klay Thompson is a very good passer for a young kid, and I think that you'll see more cohesive team play. But if they're not getting it done, my gosh, there's going to be someone over the bench that's going to really push their starting players on this team. So, you know, this is a fun and exciting time because I think everyone associated with the Warriors feels like we've made great improvement, particularly from a talent perspective. Now it's up to our coaches to mold them in a unit that can compete and play against any team. But more importantly, it's going to be some tough decisions for them to make about playing time because we do have talent that's very close and very equal.
Good decisions to make and good questions to ask, if you will. What did you like about the 3 rookies that the Warriors picked up on draft day?
Well, they're all completely different, to be honest with you. All completely different. You know, got one who's an enormous athlete. I think Harrison Barnes, who was our first pick, he's a freaky athlete, 40-inch vertical, and he's going to do some spectacular things. He's young. He's going to be on a learning curve. He's going to be playing with people that are going to help him. Ezeli, a big, strong kid, another wonderful kid, very accomplished parents, and a very accomplished person himself. But you know, his shot blocking and rebounding and defensive play interiorly, we're going to have post defenders, which we did not have a year ago. And last but not least is Draymond Green. I think coaches would feel comfortable putting him in there in the game right now. His experience, his knowledge of how to play the game, he can really pass the ball. Plus, he's a tough, competitive kid, as is Ezeli. So we've added some real nice pieces here. But you always get more excited about them, I think, when you watch them play in the Summer League. We had the only undefeated team in the Summer League. I don't know what that means. I hope we have an undefeated team in the Fall League.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But we do have a lot more talent, there's no question. But more importantly, we have size.
You know, the thing about Ezeli that it really intrigues me is that he's only been playing basketball a few years, you know, and you wonder how much more growth is there.
Well, you know, he's got great instincts to do the right thing. Shot blocking is an instinct, and he can do that already. But the thing that I like about him, he can post defend, and he can really move his feet out there. And again, the scoring part of it is going to be his new challenge. It'll be more difficult for him to score in the league, but most of his stuff is going to be, I think, rebounding, shot blocking, get us out into a running situation, setting big screens, not little screens, because we had little guys setting screens, but he's big. But very excited about him and all of our rookies.
Now, you've coached in this league, and I thought last year the first-year head coaches for the respective teams around the league were at a real disadvantage because of the fact they had such a compressed training camp. How much easier will it be for Mark Jackson to get the team to play the way he wants now that he has a regular training camp with a full preseason schedule?
Well, he's going to be a lot more comfortable coming into training camp this year, but his job will be made easier because of some of the talent we have. I mean, his job is going to be organize those people. A year ago, I came to training camp or watched our team play last year, and I said to myself, my gosh, it's one of the smallest teams I've ever seen. And we're not that anymore. And it was the worst rebounding team in basketball. That's not going to be duplicated this year. We're going to be one of the good rebounding teams in basketball. But I think he and his coaching staff, they know they have more talent. There won't be as much teaching because we've got some very high basketball IQs on our team this year. And it should be a lot more fun for him. And I'm sure he understands there will be more expectations. But for every coach, regardless of what sports you're in, expectations are good. And our expectations will be a lot better.
First time ever, I think Steph Curry's going to be in a camp. Actually, it is the first time ever he's ever been in a training camp where there hasn't been a Monte Ellis who has been the defined team leader and the guy you would definitely get the ball to at the end of a game. What's that going to do for him in terms of his growth as a player, do you think?
Well, again, I think the size of these guys, going off of screens that Bogut and Ezeli are going to be setting, or Draymond Green, those guys are big bodies, okay? And he's going to free himself a lot more. But, you know, losing Mr. Ellis was not a fun thing to do, but we have a terrific young player in Klay Thompson. And I think together, you know, they're bigger. Klay's a big guy. He knows he can really shoot the ball. And I think his play is going to help Steph a lot this year. But I think for Steph, this will be an exciting year, frustrating year for him last year because of not being able to play. He's healthy. I talked to him a little bit this morning here, and he's very excited about the coming year himself.
And when he's playing well, you know, he makes plays that make other people better.
Well, but we have a lot of people going to make people better this year. Where a year ago everyone was trying to maybe do too much because we didn't have as much talent as we do now.
The West is very, very tough this year. But I look at our depth, and I think the Warriors will compete.
Well, you know, we think we're going to be much more competitive. You know, I don't believe in making predictions, but if we don't win a lot more games, even in a short season, I'm talking about percentage-wise, I would be shocked. I would really be shocked because there's just much more talent here. And, you know, having Mark here as another year as a coach, staff together, they'll know more what to do. We lost an awful lot of close games last year with a deficiency in talent. And the thing that usually decides close game is the ability to think the game, making the right play. We have more people who will do that this year.
You still get excited, even though in this case you're not answering the phone calls of a general manager or worrying about stuff as a head coach or even as a player. Do you still get excited about all this?
Oh yes, you know, I think being involved with something I've loved all my life has been a blessing for me. I think one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard: "Find an occupation you love, and you'll never work a day in your life." I've never worked a day in my life, and life is about competition. But I think the new ownership group has been incredible to work with. Their vision is to build a first-class team here, a team that the fans come out and not root for the other team, but root for us. And I have been around basketball a long time, and I know they have great fans other places, but my hat is off to the fans of the Bay Area. It's just amazing, the response, and I think they're going to be even more responsive this year.
Well, I agree. I've been here a long time, and this is the deepest Warriors team I've been around. I'm very excited about this season.
Well, as I say, because of our size, that last year I looked at and we looked like a bunch of college team. This year we look like a professional team. That doesn't necessarily make us better, but we're certainly going to have to improve on the court. And there is talent here that will be able to take us to a different level than they were a year ago.
Okay, Jerry, it's a pleasure, and it's great to see you, and thank you for the time, and best of luck.
Well, it's going to be an exciting year, and obviously I'm excited about it. I think everyone here inside the organization is excited. I think the owner's excited. Hopefully our fans will come out and to see the kind of good basketball we want to play, but also winning basketball. When they leave the arena, they'll feel good about themselves instead of being down, and we want to give them something good to come and look forward to every night.
And the first preseason game at Oracle is a week from tonight when the Warriors entertain the Utah Jazz. I'm Tim Roye, along with Jerry West for Warriors.com.